So let's begin. When we look at my project, one of the things you're going to notice is that I have a lot of vocal tracks, about 30 of them to be precise. One of the reasons for that many tracks is that I split a lot of my lead vocals into at least 2 or more tracks. And I'm doing that because of a limitation that the human voice has and most other instruments doesn't have, which is we need to breathe. But while this might sound obvious, it's something that many producers kind of disregard and don't pay as much attention to, because that's something that is really important when you want to get a good performance out of the singer. If you've ever sang, you probably know about the effects of lack of air on your performance. And when we come to design what the singer is going to sing in a song, or in a track, or in a part, we want to make sure that he or she has enough air to perform each of those parts. And to make that happen, what we're doing is we're splitting the performance, even before we're recording it, into smaller sections. Now, the way it is done is we need to actually look at our phrase and look at our musical phrase and look for points where we can come in and out naturally. And a common mistake many producers would do is that they would just record a song and then punch in on the line that didn't work and didn't get enough air. And that's a problem because that's never natural for a singer. A singer needs a proper place to come in, he needs a place to feel the emotion of the song, he needs a proper musical flow of whatever he or she is singing. So what I'm trying to do, and usually with the singer, is to create a special split performance from both sections. And that usually makes it much easier for he or she to perform the part, and it also makes the part sound so much better than doing it in one line or in one take. For example, if we take my song Latin Dream, the C part of that song had a really long melody. And that melody started as a theme that was played on a guitar, and it was kind of a long theme. It sounded like this. So that you can see that was a very long melody without any pauses in it. So when I moved it into the vocals, not only that I had this melody, which is very long and pretty hard to sing anyway, I also had it modulated and sang twice in a row. So that made it a very big line, which can be sung, but I don't think it will sound that good, at least not in a studio recording. And it became kind of a long melody, which sounded like this. So this was a pretty long melody and pretty difficult to sing without breathing for air at some point. So I was looking for interesting and musical points to split the performance so that the singer, in this case Tammy, who sang it, will have a much nicer time getting all the phrases very articulate and very smooth, in contrast to having them very tight and trying to put in all the words and struggling for air. So the splitting points I find were something really small. So for example, the first phrase, I started just with that, and that's a really nice and very easy phrase to sing. You think you're special. Really nice. And the next one, I moved to another track and recorded that into the second performance. Just that, those 3 notes. Same thing with the other line. And the last line. Now, after I've done that, we made a performance of those little segments. So you'll see she just sings every alternate line on those segments, which makes it really flowing and very casual in contrast to being very stressful. In the actual song, I even panned those sections a bit differently to even accentuate that effect even more. So it sounded like this.
You think you're special, think you're smart. Well, I've got news for you. And guess what, Senorita? There is no hiding special. Think you're smart. Well, I've got news for you. And guess what? Senorita, there is no hiding in your brain. We all had dreams and walked back to the world.
So that was a pretty cool technique I'm using almost all the time, even not always as noticeable as it is in this one. But that's something you should always have in mind where you're trying to get a good performance and trying to get the singer to be comfortable with whatever word, syllable, and note he's singing. So I hope you enjoy this first lesson about splitting techniques, and please join me in the next lesson about one of my favorite topics, double tracking.